Hey, hey.
Okay, okay, okay. Hello everyone, welcome to this week's stream. My name is Aurélien and we will be talking about Fedora infrastructure applications today again. Hello, hello, I'm trying to set things up. I hope the sound is okay. Looks okay from what I can see here. Yes, yes. How about the image? The image looks okay. All right, all right. Let me change a few things here and there. So there's that. This needs to move a little bit. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely not a fixed setup, but it's fine. All right, I hope you can hear me well. Let me look at people in the chat. I see more people now than there was a few minutes ago, so that's good. Hello everyone, hello, hello. Feel free to say anything in the chat if you want to. It's very open, so it all works. Hello, hello, Davidank. How are you doing? Nice to see you here. Nice to see people gathering. That's cool. All right. Aha. Well, you can start asking them now. It'll get us in the mood. So, but yeah, feel free. Yeah, feel free to ask questions anytime. By the way, even if I'm doing something else, because I'm happy to interrupt whatever I'm doing to answer questions. I mean, that's the whole point of doing streams, right? So, so yeah, ask them when you have them instead of storing them into some short-term memory that may expire at some point, because I know that's what's happened with me. When there's someone who they're making like they're discussing something, and then and I have something that I want to ask or a question or a comment, and then I'm not gonna interrupt them because that's rude, and then a few minutes later I have forgotten all about it, and that's a bit too bad. It's bad for me, and it may be also bad for other people in case they were wondering the same question. So go ahead. In the meantime, I'm going to try and set up my things. Okay. Window. All right. Is this running? This is running. Okay. So what do I want to show you today? We'll see. There are several options. So if you have questions, feel free to go ahead, ask them right away. No waiting. I hope the throughput is okay. Looks a little bit like there's hiccups apparently. Well, on my end maybe. I'm not sure. Hopefully your end is okay. And it's just my computer being a little bit slow. Hello everyone. Hello, hello. All right. Okay, so if in the past few weeks, as you might have noticed, I have worked on Fedora badges, the various components of Fedora badges, and there are some of them, quite not a lot, but there's like 4 or 5 of them. So I have some reports to make today because we're reaching a point where it can be deployed to production. So I wanted to give you a tour of the application and tell you about what we want to do with it for the future. So the reason I've been working on that is because Fedora Badges in its current form is running on Rails 7 and Rails 7, well, or EPEL 7, by the way. It's going to be end of life soon, like in 2 months. So we wanted to help it port, or to port it to EL9 and so it can run in the longer term. There was a little bit of work to do that, to get there, and I'm reaching. I say I, but there was me and Ryan working on it. Ryan has been working on the front end, and I've been working on the back end basically. And yeah, and we've been making good progress, and I think that can get to production quite soon. I'm not going to give you a date because that's going to like, I don't want to make any promises right now, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen soon. We're talking days basically. So probably next week something is gonna happen. All right, so that's the good news about the state of badges that we've been working on. Yeah, I don't want to jinx it. Actually, I can't really jinx it because while working on it, we realized that there were a lot of pieces that were broken because for various reasons. One of them being that the infrastructure around badges has changed a lot in the last years because it really hasn't been touched for something around 10 years, and our infrastructure has changed a lot in between. And since badges is very interconnected with the rest, it has some parts that have broken down and have never been fixed. So we have been living on code in a similar way, yeah. So actually, by looking at the code and trying to fix it, we realized that there were a lot of pieces that were currently broken in the version that is currently running in production. So the version that we have, even though we might have introduced bugs, as always, when you work on something, you might introduce bugs. And there might be things that were working before and that aren't working anymore. But I am pretty confident that the amount of bugs that we've added is inferior to the number of bugs that we've fixed. And so I think we'll be able to deploy that like during the next week, even though it's not perfect, just because the current thing is really not good. So yeah. So there's that. I wanted to give you a tour of the software, so let me share the screen. What do I have here? Yes. All right. This is my screen right now. That's the easy fixes page that you've learned to love. Wait, no. Yes, no. Yes, that's the one. So I'll show you the state it's in right now. That's in badges.apps.ocp.stg.eferaproject.org. That's going to change, of course. It's going to be badges.staging.org, badge.stg.fedora.project.org, and badges.fedora.project.org in the end. That's just, yeah, there's random stuff here that has been, there's people that have been randomly assigned things just to test, so it's not really valid, but you can log in and log out. You have your own profile. You know, this thing, it basically all works. There were places here that didn't work because it was linking you to the old FMN notifications. And there were places that didn't work because it was sending you to the old FAS, and it's now sending you to Noggin. So that's been fixed. Yeah, there's been quite a few changes in this whole thing. All right, and that's the UI. It's now using OIDC to log in, so it's not using the legacy OpenID thing that we're trying to phase out. And yeah, leaderboard should still be working. All right, all-time leaderboard, that's all good. Okay, that's not the all-time. What's the all-time leaderboard? Yes, that's nice. Okay, that's my rank. Okay, perfect. I'm here. There are people above me, as always. Okay, that's very good. And that's the UI. That's the thing that you see, but it's really a small piece of badges, actually. Let me show you what it looks like from OpenShift, because it's now running in OpenShift. That's in console, OpenShift. Yeah, that's the... Okay, let me log in again. This is staging, so that's not the same password. Thank you very much. I have a different keyboard because my former one broke. So I'm getting used to the layout of the keys that is still a little bit different. It's a Kinesis keyboard. It's really cool, but it's also really different from what I've been using before. Well, it's not very different. Like, it's not the Advantage Kinesis keyboard, and this one is really, really different. This one, it's the Freestyle. Let me show you that. It's a Freestyle keyboard. It's a keyboard that comes in two pieces that are independent from one another. And so it goes, it's actually, yeah, it's this way for you. And it's really cool because it means that I can spread it to the width that I need. And it's very useful for me because I'm tall, so I have like long arms and large, well, somewhat large shoulders, maybe not very large as someone who would be working out on all that stuff, but large enough that having a keyboard that is really close to well, fixed together or not ergonomic makes my yeah, it's hurting my shoulders. So there's that. The fact that it's spreadable is very, very useful for me. It's cool. I'm happy to have this, but the keys are a little bit different. There are shortcuts that are in places where I don't expect them, and so I'm still getting used to a new keyboard. Front end, oh yeah, there's a build that failed, but that was my fault. So nothing to worry about here. Yes, I still need to, so David Lang says, yeah, it's great benefit for the wrist. You still need to make your desk the right height, and that's very true. Thankfully, a few years ago, I have invested in a standing desk. So the desk that I have can rise up and down to the height of my chair or my entire person if I choose to stand. I can't do that during streams because of the wires because when I open my laptop lid when I'm doing streams, because then I get a second screen, and I usually don't like having a second screen but as a consequence, I have a cable that goes to a place that I'm not expecting a cable, so I can't really raise my desk. So, but maybe I'll figure out something at some point. But standing desks are really cool. They are very expensive, but they're also really useful, I think. Like, it's been very useful. Also, you can stand, of course, but you can also adjust it to the size of your chair, which is also pretty cool. You have the Kinesis keyboard as well, but I switch back and forth between that and the Logi MX. Okay, I've hesitated, I think, between this one, Logi MX. Maybe that's MX, maybe I'm not sure. Well, that's the ergonomic one. I've actually hesitated between the Kinesis keyboard, like the Freestyle 2, and the Advantage 360, I think. That's the name of the... Let me show you that. Kinesis, okay, that's the one that I got. Kinesis, no, that's the Advantage 2. That's not the one that I got. That's the Advantage 2. I was hesitating. Yeah, that's... So... Where is the thing? That's the... So yeah, I was considering this one, but this one has keys in the layout that is so widely different from what I'm used to that it's really involved. Like I was considering this one, yeah. And what made me decide is that this one doesn't come in as a T. You know, there's the layout for French keyboards is a bit different. The keys are a little bit different, but it's not only the placement, it's also, there are some additional keys for all the accented letters and all that ones. Yeah, it's like progressive lens. You have to get used to it. I wasn't like, I think I would have picked that one up if it had an AZERTY layout, but it doesn't. So it's not just about reorganizing the keys. There are some things that are, like the number of keys is different, so that you can't really adjust it. Otherwise, I would totally have picked this one up. But I went for the Freestyle, and I'm happy about it because I have this AZERTY layout that I'm used to, and that makes it easier to write French, so that counts. All right, so yeah, mine is this one, Freestyle 2. Yeah, the Freestyle Pro was interesting because it's programmable, and that would have been very cool, except it doesn't come in AZERTY. It's only QWERTY, it's only this layout. So annoying, but that's how it is. So I got this one. And yeah, I'm happy about it. All right. So that said, I don't want to flag my video as having a commercial part in there. I'm just talking about the things that why my typing might introduce a lot of mistakes in the next hours, because yeah, it's new. Anyway, badges. So yeah, these are the pieces. What I would like to do today is make an introduction on badges to people who don't really know so much about it. So in the previous, wait, let me open that. Let me open that thing. So in the current version of badges, there's an unsaved file. Hope it's not too bad. It's in Tarrier. What did I not save this time? Sorry, just making sure that I'm not mistaking. What did I do? Yes. Yeah, I should fix that. Right. Did I push that already? I pushed that already. I'll just force push. Just make sure that I'm not overwriting somebody's work. Yes, that's still me. I'm amending my commit, adding this small change. and force pushing. Okay. Yeah, never mind. So, okay. Yes, that's Tarir. Let's open Fed badges. So Fed badges has in its documentation, which is almost non-existent, a diagram that you can see here. There's the text diagram and there's a graphic diagram. That's the graphic one. So it is somehow still, it's somewhat valid. Some things have changed, of course, because we've moved it to OpenShift. We've moved it to Fedora messaging, and it's also using OIDC for the authentication, even though that's not displayed here. I would like to remake this schema with the current actual version. To make it so there aren't any sources of this, unfortunately. So I'd like to make one, and that's going to be an opportunity for me to explain the different pieces in badges. Like there's cron here, it's not really cron anymore because it's running in OpenShift, so there's cron jobs, but they are in OpenShift, etc., etc. Okay. Okay. Nice. Let's do this. Cool. Hope you like it. So, I have started something on draw.io. Do you have a preference for diagrams? Like things you... Oh, not this. No, thank you. No, not this. No. Diagrams.net. Okay, so I've been using this draw.io app. It's it's pretty cool. It's open source. Plant2ML. So David says I use Plant2ML. Okay, UML. But I suppose Plant2ML is going to be UML only, right? Or does it do other things? It does more. Okay, cool. All right, let's start with this one. So there are different pieces. There's of course the Terra database that contains all the badges. It contains all the users that have badges, and it contains the association between the two called assertion. I see. Plant2ML is not using. It's like dot, right? Or maybe something like this. Anyway, let me zoom in. Right. So there's this. There's this database. Okay. There's something called Terra API, which is a Python API to access the Terra database here. So should I add some documentation here? Maybe just say, yeah, go to the background, please. Placer en dessous. Yeah. Okay, so I can select yes. Thank you. Terra database. It has. Can I make that smaller? Of course, I can make that smaller. So it has badges, users, and awards, as in awarded badges. Okay, so that's good. That's a little bit too small, but I guess that's fine for now. Or maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger, like 6. Okay, maybe make a small maybe not that, but like a small line in between the two. Okay, so that's our Tarrier database. Cool. And there's the API around it, called Tarrier API. Okay, yeah, it's not great. It's not perfectly aligned, but we can fix that later. Let's not worry about that right now. Of course, as soon as I say this, I'm worrying about it, which is normal. I always do this. Organize, align. Oh yeah, it has to be two. Yeah, it has to be align. I thought there was a button to. Oh yeah, that's maybe here. Ah yeah, that's the one. Yeah, cool. Okay, so there's Tarrier API. It has it's a Python API to the Tarrier database, right? Okay, so we have two users of this API. Yes, I know. I have to remember that. So yeah, David says perfect is the enemy of good. Yeah, I'm totally guilty of that all the time. So here under it, we have, let's say we have the message bus, okay? No, that's definitely not what I want to do. What do I have for the bus? Let's make it like a tunnel or something. Do we have that? Like, yeah, this would work. Okay, that's the Fedora messaging bus, right? That all the applications connect to. Use the search bar. That's a good point. Okay, so that's the bus, the Fedora messaging bus. Okay, so we have a component called we're going to use squares for components. We have a component called fed badges. This is the component that listens to the bus. It's a consumer for the bus, right? Should I have done it that way? Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't have. That's fine. I'll move it a little bit up. There's fed badges here. I'm going to align that up because I need the space. It's consuming from the bus. That's going to be a one direction error. Thank you. You can use drop to distribute them. That's right. Yeah, I'll do that later. For now, I want to attach this. Is that how it works? It looks to be not great. Doesn't look like it's attaching as it should. Is it? Yeah. I'm not used to this tool, as you can see, but maybe that's good. The green field looks better. Looks good. Anyway, and that can move? Yes. Anyway, so it's getting messages from the bus, right? And then it is going to apply rules. So it's getting the rules from the database. So it's reading rules from the database. Let me call that rules. It's getting rules from the database, right? And the rules are badges rules, actually. That's, oh, no, not at all. No, thank you. So that's badge rules. So it's getting badge rules from the database, from the Tarrier database, and it's applying the messages, that's messages. It's for each incoming messages, it's looking at the badge rules and see if it matches. So badge rules can be quite complex. Let me make a note here. That's a little bit too big. Can you change that? Yes, thank you very much. Beautiful. Okay. So it has bad rules, and it's going to apply the messages to them by looking at the conditions that each bad rule has. So a bad rule, they have actually, well, they have two type of conditions. Well, not really. Okay. Let me give you an example. So I have a rule. How should I say that? Yeah. So Hi Linux Return, how are you doing? So we're talking about badges today and how the different pieces work together. So the bad rules have conditions. For example, I don't know, like I have built 50 packages, right? So if you see an incoming message that is about a package being built, I'm going to extract the username from that package, the author of the build, extract the username from that message, sorry, the owner of the build, and I'm going to go look into existing messages in data number, and that's the second database. So here I have data number. That's a very large database of all the existing messages that we have. So let's say it's this way, it's here, right? So Fed badges is capable of making request response calls to data number. That's actually much better than what I have done before. What's that? Still not. Yeah, let's not worry about it right now. Can I change that as a, what's the style of this? Yes, that's how you do it. Much better. Yes, much happier about that. So Fed badges is capable of making queries to data number, and that will be a double-ended. Nice. I have to fix my lines too. Yeah, I know. So yes, that's the type of that's the one. There you go. So it's request response. So it goes from Fed badges and you get the response. Fed badges asks data number how many packages have this user built, and it gets the response. And if it's above the threshold that is specified in the rule, then it's going to award the badge, right? So then it will award a badge. If it matches. Okay, maybe that part isn't really necessary. I mean, yeah, it's not, yeah, it's going to be clearer that way. So it can query data number, but there are many things that it can query. Please stay attached to it. Yes, thank you. It can also query, I guess it can query fast.json. So we'll have one here. That's a query necessary to get information about the user. So same here, I'm going to maybe this. nice. Except I want to link it here. Looking from here. Okay, so a new planet is coming. Yeah, that's right. So Fedora has been working on that for a while, and it's now ready. So yeah, there's going to be a new planet coming soon. That's really cool. Even though I guess fewer people write blog posts now than before, but oh yeah, you want to work on that? That's very cool. Yeah, it keeps the old look. And I'm sure Pedro will be happy with contributions. So yeah, feel free to contribute to that, of course, or ask him or ask the website's team, and because I think he's mostly been working on the engine, you know, that built it. So okay, so there's fast.json for the accounts. Okay, data number, that's history of messages. Okay. What can it query as well? It can query dist-git, of course. It can query dist-git to get packages. Weird. That's fine. It doesn't matter. So let me make another one. Yes, of course. That's the outlier. Yeah, it doesn't. You want to see it updated? Interesting questions. So that's a response. Yep, query and response. Okay, I would love to see that aligned with the rest. Can I do that? Can I have that, please? Apparently I can. That's cool. Cool. So it can query all the external services to get the information it needs about to award a badge, right? That's that's the most complex part, I think, in Fed badges. So your rule can contain requirements on data number, requirements on fast.json. Can it? Well, it can have several requirements. And if the message matches, and if then you're awarded the badge. Getting the lines, align, well, I keep them that way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that if I do something crazy such as changing this, yes, of course it breaks. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's not pretty. It's not pretty anymore. Not pretty at all. Why it has created a new turn that I do not know. It's trying to do things that I didn't really ask it to. Right, that's entirely crazy. Can you remove that one? Okay, yeah, it's starting to get annoying actually. But it's, yeah, I think it's better in Inkscape, which is what I've been using before. But that's fine. Yeah. Can I remove this node? What about that? No, can I remove one of the nodes? You can go back and manage the config. Huh. For the line? Properties, oh, I guess you can change that. You have probably made one too many crazy stuff with this. Anyway. Oh yeah, because it's doing this because it's trying to align. Ah yeah, I see. Okay. I see. Okay. Anyway. We're not going to transition for your neutral and having some asymmetry. But I am. Okay, that's the current place. Okay. All right. Let's get to it. So there's that. So Fed badges is the badges awarder, right? It loads the rules and it awards them. Let me look at the picture that I had before. That's the place that it's here, right? So it's using Target API to talk to the PostgreSQL database, right? And it has rules, and they also ask data number to check the criteria. That's cool. That's Fed message event coming in, triggering a check, right? Okay. So the rules the rules are in two places right now, and that's one of the problems that I would like to have solved at some point. Right now, the rules are in a repo because that helps other people collaborate on it. That's very practical. You have the PNGs there. You have all the necessary files well, it's much easier to work on the badges themselves in a repo, right? So there's a repo called Fedora badges. And this repo is periodically scanned by Fed badges to check for new badges, new definitions of badges. And when it finds one, yes, that's exactly, that's the one. And when it finds a new badge, it's going to load it up in the database and create a rule object out of it. So right now the badges are like the reference is here in the repo, but if you remove a rule from the repo, nothing happens. The rule is still in the database, the badge is still in the database, right? It doesn't remove the badge from the database. However, when you reload, when you change it, then Fed badges will reload and it will remove its rule from its memory. So it's not going to match new messages with it. But you can't really, as a result, you can't really remove a rule from the official database. And if you do so, the badge will never get awarded again because Fed badges will not award it. But there's no way you know that from the API, from the UI. It's not going to show anything in the UI saying that we have disabled this badge. That's the topic of a ticket that has been opened by Ryan, and we'll have to find a way to make that clear. Somebody will. So yes, I should actually have a link here like this. That's good. Okay, so that's the backend. All that is the backend. Now we have the front end. The front end is here. That's going to be Terrier. That's the web UI. So the web UI, of course, responds to people. That's obvious, right? That's people making queries. Oh no. There was some nice lines here that I haven't found. Or this, yes. So they're going to make a request with a browser to the Tara web UI and see their badges and all the, all the things that the web UI does. But it also is able to handle QR codes. And by doing so, it is also capable of awarding badges. Well, not that. Yeah, that's not great. I agree. Let me do it this way then. Right, so it's not really perfectly aligned. Thank you. Yeah, that's not fantastic. Let's do it this way. Okay, so Tari Web UI, when you flash a QR code with your that is attached to a badge, you get to the Tari Web UI, recognizes it, and awards the badge to you. Right. Can you move that a little bit this way? Yes, that's much better. Okay. And that will be that's a little bit too big. Can't you make that smaller? No, it doesn't want to make it smaller. It doesn't want to make it smaller. Huh. Where is Tari being developed? Still on GitHub, not as much on Pagure. Yes. So of this, only the Fedora badges repo is on Pagure. All the rest is on GitHub. So you have Fed badges is on GitHub, Tari Web UI is on GitHub, Tari API is on GitHub. Well, .NMR, FastJSON as well. Not this Git, but only this one, only the repo containing the content. So only the repo containing the badges themselves is on Pagure. All right. Okay, so is this, how does it look like compared to this? So that's the web app, invitation, QR codes. Okay, admin panel, that's right. Right, and there's also cron jobs, right? Oh, I should regroup all that. Yes, I'm going to regroup all that and move things around because I want to delimit what is running in OpenShift and what is not. So I'm going to reorganize things. That's going to be not pretty. Okay, it's not that as horrible as I thought. That is sad to me. I prefer to sit on Pagure too, but I know that's a tender subject, yeah. I still happen to be a proponent of Pagure and Dizgit, which are both less popular these days. Yep. This, I'm not sure we had a very solid Pagure instance when this thing was started. Because remember, it's really old. So I'm not sure. Right now it's on GitHub. It's probably going to move to wherever we decide at some point. When Pagure gets dropped, I suppose. Okay, so this is of course entirely wrong. This is wrong as well. Well, no. Nice try, lines. You could have made something aligned and you didn't. Okay. Okay, so of course that's no longer readable. And that will go here possibly. I guess that's fine here as well. Yeah. Dota is aggressive but managing the distribution. Yep, it is. Anyway, I'll just need some more space with my stuff. That should make things much more readable. I mean, I don't mind things being a little bit, you know, like aggressive in that regard, because that usually means that there are less ways to do it wrong when you're just pointing at things. What did I do? What did I just do? But here, yeah, I think that's going to be, there's just too many lines at the same place. Okay, so let me get that one right. Still not right. Ah, that's where it should be. Right. Okay. So it's typically better for you to distribute to match those default distances. Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure I'll find some great way to do that when I'm done managing those things in the so when you don't want to observe the rules, when you don't want to observe the rules right now, yeah, that's true. That's fine. Okay. Okay, so I think that's readable here. And I can move that back here. And because there's another component that I want to have here in the space where I'm going to delimit OpenShift, and that's the cron jobs. So, no, I don't need to do that, thank you. What did I do? Maybe I picked the wrong one. Yes, I picked the wrong one. Okay. Okay, and there's gonna be many of them, like cron jobs, and that goes, text goes up. And I'm going to give an example of that. So what do we have? We have a life cycle. I know some of them because they are here. Mirror, LibreAvatar, membership. All those ways of getting badges that are actually run by cron and not linked to receiving a message. and there are many of them. So I'm gonna give you the illusion of something happening. And put that to the back. Right. And then can I duplicate that one? Hopefully I can. Yes. Okay, so now it could be one more. Anyway, so you have cron jobs, and they are going to award badges regularly depending on the queries that they make. Why is it still 11 here? Can't I make that smaller? That's not cool. Why do I spend so much time on making things pretty? I don't know. That's how it is, I suppose. So there's cron jobs. Yes, you don't need to do that. Right. Yeah, it is mean. And I'm going to award badges with this. Boom, except you don't go here, you go here. And you do that this way. And you are name award badges from periodic checks. Of course, that goes here. Yeah, not awesome, but it'll have to do. I'm gonna group that so I don't bother with it anymore. Thank you. Okay. The line spacing is really odd here. Yeah, all right. Okay, so I have badges awarded from cron jobs. Badges award. That's not pretty. Doesn't it? Oh, that's because the other line is on top of it. Right, and you can go to the background. Thank you. Okay. All right, so I have badges awarded by periodic checks with cron jobs. It's not really centered. There are badges awarded by QR codes. It's not really centered as well, but I guess that's gonna be fine. And there are badges awarded by incoming messages. And all this is running on OpenShift right now. So the OpenShift vertical container, yeah, that's not bad. I can do that. Right, and that goes to the very background because. So everything is black and white, it's not really clear. I would like to make that maybe like grayish, or yeah, that's better. All this is running on OpenShift. We have Fed badges running. We have Terry API, which is basically an API, right? It's not a very big component. Oh no, what did I do? Oh no. Let's use the distribution tool. Yes, well done. No, definitely not what I wanted to do. Yeah, this is going to get annoying. There. How about you? There. Okay. And I suppose you are going to... yes, I suppose that's right. No, I suppose that's right. Okay, so you can award badges on incoming messages. We all know that. Okay, good. Text is bigger, so we know that we're talking about big component. Okay. Okay, so all this is running on. Can I do this? Yeah, of course it's meaningless. I guess that's fine. That's fine. Yes. I suppose that's fine. That is the situation. What do I have? Yeah, this is data number DB. Yes. Yeah, it's gonna have to do for now. I'm not really so happy about this thing here because I'm gonna want to click it, even though it's not really what I want. Would this work somehow? Seems weird, but I mean. Open shift. Okay. Top. And obviously as much to the back as I can. And maybe something smaller. Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's align those. Organize and align. So I think what you had, yeah. Okay, all right, I have all this running in OpenShift. Yeah, maybe I need something even smaller than that, just to give you the idea that it's... okay, all right, I have all this running in OpenShift. I have fed badges responding to messages from the bus. Using rules from the badges repo. And it's awarding badges. And this is, oh yeah, of course, there's one piece that is very important that I haven't talked about. And that's, of course, oh no, don't do this. That's, of course, the web UI talking to the database to like get the badges, basically. We decided that request responses are going to be 2 arrows, so let's do this. Okay. Whew. All right. So let me draw in a different colors the parts that award badges. Okay. So there's this, this, and this. This is awarding badges. It's going to be blue. I'm not such a fan of this one, but okay. So yeah, I'm really not a big fan of that. Can you zoom in and see that? Yeah, that's something wrong here. What is this? No, not at all. Okay. What is this? Certainly not. It seems like the QR code feeds to FedBadge's rule, doesn't it? That's a good question. Let me look at that once I've fixed this annoying stuff. So, you are saying that QR code feeds into FedBadge's rules. What's FedBadge's rule? This one here? You need the fastJSON details somewhere, or are you getting that from the web session? That's a good question. Currently, it's not really... Currently, Tarrier is not making queries to fastJSON. It's authenticating using OpenID, and that is elsewhere that I haven't represented, but I'm going to do that. Actually, yeah, should I do this with the... Yeah, let's go to... OpenID Connect, which is of course, that's a service that we provide to everyone in the infrastructure. And Tarrier Web UI is connecting to it, indeed. No. So let me make a connection, indeed. But it's not making calls to fastJSON at the moment, but I think it should, for a reason that I've talked about in a ticket in Tarrier, but that's... so it's using OpenID Connect, which is not exactly the same as fastJSON. fastJSON is a REST API to query users. It doesn't implement the OpenID protocol at all. All right. Yeah, I don't really like this OpenShift big square. That's not... Or maybe I could have some background in there. Like, what happens if I do this? But then I need those to have a dark background, not a transparent background. Okay. Mine to come in a different... You know, what I thought at some point was that I would make everything in the same diagram and everything, and you could... It would be vector graphics, so you could zoom in and have the details that you want. But I'm not sure that's actually a good idea. That's a great use for plant UML. Maybe, I haven't really ever looked at that, so. I've been searching for for graph tools, diagram tools for a long time. There was nothing really available, and I kind of stopped looking at it. So who knows? Maybe there's going to be something better these days. But I do like the WYSIWYG things, even though it's a bit annoying sometimes. Okay. They are all as useful as YAML. There's this rule. This contains rules. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's starting to be understandable from my point of view. There's messages coming in. Right. I'm starting to form different questions now. Okay, go ahead with your questions. Let me save that. Now I want to know what you fixed from the previous iteration. That's a good question. So, I think 3 main things. Where did the connection start to change when I started working on the project? So, so the first thing I did was to replace FedMessage with Fedora messaging. So all this thing, mostly the consumer that's running Fed badges as a consumer in FedMessage Hub. FedMessage Hub has disappeared. It's now replaced by Fedora messaging, and the consumer had to be a little bit different in the way it's organized. That's one piece. And there were also a lot of things that were using the FedMessage features or characteristics, such as the FedMessage Meta Fedora Infrastructure Library, which translates an incoming message into the affected users. That's now in the schema of the message. So you just call .usernames on the object that you receive. So I had to change that. There were a few places where it would be looking up users, fast usernames from other things like I don't know, like GitHub usernames, that sort of thing. That had to change. And so that's one part. Moving to Fedora messaging is one big part. Second big part is making the UI Tarrier work with OpenID Connect instead of OpenID. And that was Ryan's work. He used a bit of the work that I did on Bodhi to do the exact same thing. But because it's a pyramid application as well. Tarrier is a pyramid application. And third thing would be to make all that run in OpenShift, because it was all VMs before that. And so there were things that were installed and that were like the badges repo was just a repo here static on the machine. There were some things that were expected to be in certain places that didn't really match the layout of an OpenShift container, of a container on OpenShift with how the directories are mounted when you want to add configuration or permanent storage in OpenShift. That's a that's a big change in the way the components are organized. So there's that. What else? There was a lot of places in the code where it was still retaining Python 2 compatibility, and that's just that that's not really a problem anymore. So there was a bit of modernization in the code. I had to, like, of course, upgrade the unit test to go with this. I had to, what else? I've added the usual linting tools that we use, migrate all that to poetry instead of setup tools. Things that are more, software project related than the actual feature of the project itself. Okay, like for example, if you want to have this badges repo in OpenShift, you have to mount it in a permanent storage, and you have to have a component that will reload the list of badges from within the container itself. So that's a separate thread, etc. Quite a few things. Okay. Could have organized that differently, couldn't I? Like I could have made that this way. That would have made more sense. Oh yeah, no. Ooh. No. Okay. So knowing what you know now, what things are that you want to do differently today? There are a lot of things to do, not just the diagram layout. Yeah, that's very tempting, but no. There are quite a few things. Oh, you mean today as in today, or today as in starting from now, or for the project in the future, etc., etc. Because that's a different question. There are things. Oh, this is not properly distributed. Let us fix that. Blah blah blah. Can you? Oh, cool. Nice. Of course, that fails. That's understandable. There's only one. There's one place where it's aligned, and that's. See, as I'm escaping this question by working on the layout again. No. No. What the Oh, that's why. There's still this. Okay. So, as in today. You didn't realize that you could do it better than when you, now that you're finished. Right. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna save that. I want that to be able to be useful to people who are going to try to contribute to badges in the future, if such people exist. So no, what are you doing? I guess that's never really finished. Sad. Okay, cool. Yeah, this one is a little bit bigger. Why can't you be the exact same size as the other ones? Why can, I mean, yes. No. I mean, how different could that be? There you go. Okay, now I can distribute stuff. They're all the same size. That is much better. Line, distribute. Ooh! Why would you do that? No? Yeah, it's fine. Let's correction to the right, after left, correction to the right. Yes, oh yes, there's those, but that's easy now that I know how it works. Okay. 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 So what's next? Next is I want to try to present things in a way that makes it clear for people who want to contribute to badges, to any of those components. So I would like to remove all the blockers that would prevent people from contributing to badges. This diagram is one of them. Is one of the things. For example, if somebody has an ID for badges, I would like for them to be able to jump into the code and look at how it could be done, etc. easily. Inline documentation like PyDocs or something different. Yes, the code is not really well documented in itself, like inside each component, it's not great. That would be a good thing. I personally rarely use that. I rarely use the API documentations. I usually look at the code, but maybe that's just me. So yeah, improving the inline documentation, that could be a thing. There are tools that will help us with that, making sure that all things are documented. I think we use one of those on body. It's not PyDoc style. There's something PyDoc style. There's something that is going to require that all the methods are documented, except if they're private. So we could use something like this. I'm gonna save that. Okay, so we have something. I would also, because at some point I would like to, my end goal is to find a way to get the community involved with badges more than it has been in the past 10 years. At the beginning of badges, there was a lot of action around it. A lot of people were interested in. There was some contributions. There were mostly contributions to the badges themselves, which is great, but a little bit to the code. Not a lot, but a little bit. And that has dwindled, and I would like to find that back. Yeah, most of my friends who are coders would like to just have well-structured code instead of docs. Yeah. You use help? Okay. Interesting. I haven't seen a lot of people use Python's help command. But yeah, that's cool. It exists. It's there. I personally, I don't do a lot of documentations on the code that I write, and that's one of my problems, of course. I should. But I try to have methods that have clear names. Like I put a lot of efforts in the name of my variables, of the methods, of the functions, of the properties, etc. I spend a lot of effort making sure that the names are correct and that they reflect what the method is doing. I think the next step would be to have type hinting. Because type hinting is really useful in Python, especially for documentation. That would be great to have. So that's going to be my next step. Yeah, it's really cool. Okay. So what I can do, so next thing I'm going to try and do is, well, in the next few days, is go through the code and try to identify all of the things that could be improved by new people new to the code, or people that are ready to be a little more involved. I'd like to find some easy fixes, as we call them, and list them all in the repos. Yeah, I would love for you to have a few hackathons here where we can hang out and help. That'd be great. I'm also looking for a format of some sort of workshop or something that I could organize around badges. I don't know how that could work, when that could be done, if I would do that on a weekday during the day, or maybe that's not a good idea, or maybe it is not such a bad idea because of time zones. So yeah, find a way to like have a few people, like maybe 2, 3, 4 people maybe, work on something during a small time frame and fix a bug or improve something and learn how all the thing is working at the same time. I'm happy to do any form of mentoring that would be useful. Do any form of explain how I think things should be done. We could do it with a workshop studio at AWS. I can help to build that and maybe add it to the Red Hat Game Day. I have no idea what this is, but looks cool. I'll look it up. Workshop studio at AWS. Okay. Because there's actually my end goal, like the final end goal, would be to find how to involve a community of users and sometimes developers with a source code, like a source code base, basically. I want to try that on badges and find ways to involve people with badges, because it's cool. It gives nice artwork to people. There's some sort of how do you call that? It's enticing. So I mentioned it because it gives the workshop free infrastructure for the testing and experimentation that is separate from staging, etc. Yep. If it's separate from staging, that works too. There is, I've added also a Vagrant setup for Tarrier and Fed badges, so you could run that on your own machine if you want to. So my final plan is to find a way to motivate people from a community to contribute to a piece of code. And badges is a good example to try that, because it's fun. It gives you rewards basically, and it's also not on the critical path to publishing a Fedora release, which means that we can take as long as we need to fix it or to improve it. We're not rushed by the periodic releases of Fedora, and if we screw up, it's not so bad. So really, it's a good testing ground, really. Right, and what else? This could probably be here. No? Oh, it's not the same time of line. Okay. It is not the same line. Interesting. Yeah, on critical CV, I suppose you could just take it offline and replay messaging. Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing about Fedora messaging. If your software goes down, the message stays stored in RabbitMQ. Of course, you don't want for that to happen too long over a too long period of time, because those messages are taking up space, and we have a cluster in RabbitMQ, which means that all the messages are replicated to the 3 servers in the cluster. And if you, we're almost there. And if you have your queue growing too wide, too big, then that's gonna bring the entire cluster down to its knees, basically. So yeah, we don't want that. Why am I doing all this? I don't know. There's still something wrong with this. Anyway, so we could have this software taken down, and if we don't want the pile of messages who are coming in to be to impede or to hurt the RabbitMQ cluster, then we can just empty the queue and at some point replay everything from data number. That could be done as well. So yeah, it's not critical, it's fun. And so yeah, that's really a good candidate for that. And I think that if we find a way to motivate people from the Fedora community to help with the Fedora infrastructure applications, we will greatly benefit from that. That's really been missing, and we've been really trying to maintain all these applications basically on our own in the small team of developers that we have in CP. With a few exceptions, very notable exceptions, such as Matthias, who works on Body, Darkno, who works on cloud things. Yeah, there's a few people who have been working with us as volunteers, and that's great, but that's not enough. That's really enough from them, but that's not enough people. We want more people. So we could build in some components or refactoring efforts into the Python class spin. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure what class spin you are referring to, but yeah, that's entirely possible. There's a lot of refactoring to do. We have a way to teach Python. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, there's a few things here and there that would be interesting. For example, I have open ticket for that. It should probably be in the easy fixes. So for example, in Fed badge, no, not in Fed badges, in Tarrier API. Yeah, in Tarrier API, there are some things that you could improve. Python, that's interesting. Thank you. Thank you for the link. I'll have a look at that. I haven't really followed that closely, but yeah, very interesting stuff. Okay, so for example, you may know about SQL Alchemy. That's the most widespread ORM for Python, and there's been a new version a few months ago, 2.0, that has a different way of making queries, and we want to upgrade Tarrier API, the library around the database, which is basically using SQL Alchemy. We want to upgrade that to the new style. That's quite a lot of refactoring to do, because the new style is a little bit different, and the other components that use the API kind of abuse the old style of doing queries. So we want to refactor that. There's that. There are things in Fed badges Where's fed badges? Where are you, fed badges? Yes. Use town crier. Yeah, that's something also in the project management side of things. Use town crier for the change logs. That's a little bit of grunt work, but it would be really cool to have that. There are things in Tarrier that could be. There are some RFEs that have been open for like 6 years. So yeah. Open by Stickster. Who's now like the manager of my manager, basically. Anyway. Mrs. Last Day, yeah, I've checked. I've seen that. Save me submission of badge awardees. Cool. Okay. Yeah, there's quite a few things in there that could be worked on in a workshop, in a Python workshop. Basically, if you go through the code, I'm sure you'll find plenty of places where things are a little bit wonky. There are places where the code has been cut and pasted, which I hate, and I'm at some point I'm going to pass some sort of tool that analyzes how many lines are similar between different files and how many lines have been cut and pasted, and I'm going to hate the result. I know. So I've tried to factor some things out that have been cut and pasted abusively. Well, that's a pleonasm. It's always abusive. But yeah, there's still more. The repo system, like, syncing from. Ask Tomasz about his school for GenAI. Right. The one that is supposed to. His tools for GenAI. For observability. Okay. Okay, I'll remember that. I'll try to. Yeah, there's plenty of things here and there. Also, if somebody is using it for logging reviews, okay. In logging and reviews, I'm interested. If you have a link to that, that'd be great. I'm always interested in tools to do reviews because I do a lot of them, and I have written a couple tools for that. But I'm always interested in having better things, better tools. Yeah, the test coverage is bad. It's really bad. It's just bad. So there's that to improve. If somebody wants to undertake migrating Tarrier, so the web application, to Flask instead of Pyramid, that would be great. Oh yes, Log Detective. Okay, that was the one for RPM build failures, right? Yes. Yes, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Very cool project. Although I don't think that would be considered generative AI, because it doesn't generate. It does what AI is very good at, which is matching patterns. Cool. Very cool. Yes, so if somebody wants to rewrite Tarrier, the web UI, into Flask instead of Pyramid, that would be cool. I don't think we're going to do that because that's not priority. But the fact that it's a bit different from the rest of our applications is causing some maintenance issues because there are some things that we can't share with Tarrier. So that's a bit annoying. Moving it to Flask would be cool. It would not, I think, be a gigantic undertaking because there aren't that many views in Tarrier. It's not so attached to Pyramid itself. But yeah, that'd be cool. But that's definitely not an easy fix. Not as big as you'd think because there aren't so many views, but not an easy fix. Yeah, so in the few following days, I'm going to try to identify some things, some low-hanging fruits, and some things that are a bit harder. That would help this whole system be more manageable in the long run. And some things that could be improved as well. Maybe new features, maybe new interactions, like maybe instead of calling to data number, we want to be able to call to, well, instead of just calling to data number, we want to be able to call to other APIs, maybe call to, I don't know, call to body, for example, or, other things. And maybe we want to have new ways of getting badges, because basically getting badges was a way to encourage people in the community to do things that is useful to the project. So if there are today new things that are useful to the project, hey, that's an excellent example. For example, you could get a badge for submitting a log to Log Detective. Sure, why not? If that's a project we want to encourage, we'll just need to have a way to bridge this Log Detective UI or website to the bus. So that's basically a webhook, and that's going to send a message on the bus. We'll be able to catch it, award a badge to people who contribute to it. I mean, why not? Sure. Yes, there are ways to. There are new ways we could improve this system, make it award badges in different situations, new things that we want to encourage people to do. It's a good system in itself, conceptually. The implementation is showing its age as a garden that you haven't touched for 10 years. Well, you go back to that and you'll have a bit of work to do before you can use it. Or an old house in the countryside, it's been gathering dust for a long time and there are cobwebs everywhere and you need to clean up. But it's useful. We could do great things with it. So yeah, I'd like to get help from the community to take it to a state where it's easy to contribute to and gather ideas, all that. It's a good hook to the marketing team. Yes, you have a good event-driven system here. Definitely great reference architectures for others now. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's once we have a bus system with messages, it used to be Fed message, but Fedora messaging is basically the same. Once we have that, you can react to everything that happens in the infrastructure. We've used that for FMN, and we can use that for badges. It's extremely useful. Events happen from the bus, but event happens from periodic checks, also the cron jobs. Events happen as a result of making a web query to the QR code, for example, like not the QR code, but to the URL with the token that awards the badge. It's cool. There are things to do with this. So we are going to deploy that soon. I can be pretty sure that it's going to be soon. I can say that it's going to be next week. Basically, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be next week, unless the world collapses. Yeah, I would also like to have maybe a clearer definition of what you can do in a badge, how you can write the badge YAML files, the rules themselves. Maybe that'll give people ideas. We'll also be working on let's talk about putting together this Python client room. Yes, absolutely. So I don't know so much about Python Classroom. I'm going to look into that. I'm going to definitely look into that. and maybe organize something with other people. Like that could be a topic of one of the classrooms. I'm going to look into that, really. That's interesting. It's also translated. That's really cool. Nice. I'll have a look into that. That's definitely not now because it's almost 5 here, so it's getting a little bit late, and it's going to be not really interesting to look at me reading stuff. But yeah, let's do that. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. I'll do an export of this file. You're welcome. Thanks, David. Thanks for the interaction and all the suggestions and the link to the classroom. That's gonna be great. That's an excellent idea. I had the idea of trying to find a way to do workshops with people, try to engage them in this, but that's an excellent realization of that. It's really, yep, let's do this. I'm gonna export that to a file, export to SVG. Yes, transparent background, sure, why not? Does it really matter? I don't know. Include a copy of my diagram, sure. Image, sure, export everything, thank you. Export it to, yeah, download it please. I'm gonna download that with the rest. It's just gonna call it badges.svg and a PNG. See if we get something interesting in there. Sure, PNG. Transparent background, not so much. Give me the light one. Grid, no. Copy of my diagram, sure. I don't know how you can do that. Include a copy of a diagram inside a PNG, but maybe you can. Okay. So I want to help that. That's cool. That's very cool. Okay, let's keep in touch. What's your fast username? If your line are the wrong color, you may have a great SVG that needs a dark background. That's correct. DevDunk. Okay, cool. That's the same. Right. Let's check. Wait, I should have that in here. In theory, it should be in there. So, is it terrible? It is not so horrible. It manages to translate that. Of course, I would like to have a little frame around it, but that's fine. Definitely, you can look at my badges. That will definitely do. Hey, that's pretty cool. I mean, that's really readable. Well, not so much now, but okay. I would have loved to have a little padding around that, but it'll have to do. What is the? That's the SVG. Great drawing. Thanks. I'm just gonna try the PNG again. Can I? Border. That's where it is. Okay, let's say I have a 20 pixel border maybe. On a light. Transparent, no, thank you. Okay, let's try that again. What say you? Much better. Nice. Okay. Bien fait, thank you. Well done. Okay, cool. That's perfect. Open. Can I open that in my file manager? No, apparently I can't. That's okay. Where's Fedora? Right here. Badges, diagrams. That's the one. What's the SVG? Yeah, that's the transparent background. That's not great. Let me redo that. I had doubts about this, and light, copy, integrate images, and sure. Yes. Export. Okay. Okay, thanks. Thanks for passing by, and thanks for all the links and the interaction. That was cool. Okay, see you around. Yeah, see you around. We'll expand on that. Have fun. And I'm gonna stop anyway because I'm at the end of my time here. So I'm happy this badge diagram is done, and yep, that's the way to go. That's how we're going to bring back badges from the dead. All right, thanks everyone. I've had a lot of discussion with DevDunk here, but if you have other things you want to discuss, feel free to do so. There you go. And yep. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Next Friday, I think I'll be able to make it, so it should be fine. Yeah. So okay, that's cool. See you next Friday, and have fun in the meantime. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you next time. See you next week. Bye.